Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd give you a little update on Penny. Oh, Penelope. She's so funny. I've strategically arranged my ginger plants around the house because she likes the pots. These are her little domains, and these are her little potty grounds, and that works out just fine for me because I would rather keep my bedspread intact, and I absolutely love this silly little bird. Oh, Penelope, what is it you're doing now? She is so funny. She has quite the affinity for sesame seeds. They're almost a drug for her. You are so cute. Look at her little afro. I almost let her go, and then the spirit said, when her fro is gone, then maybe she can start thinking about it. Again, like I said, we'll just open the doors to the balcony and she can go on. The balcony is mostly hemmed in, so it would take quite a bit of effort on her part to get out. And at that point, I would imagine that would be instinct. Hello, girl. Would you like to say hi to the camera? Is the camera too weird? Is it too weird so close? Huh? Yes. I have it kind of offset to the side. I'm wondering if you can even see her. You're so dark. Yes, you are. You're so beautiful. Yes, you are. She's a cutie. Yes, she is. And we knows her. So yeah, throughout the house we have little spots for her to hang. And originally, for those that are recently joining us, she was hanging out in here and had a sweet little setup. She had a little, it was a shoe box to begin with. She was very tiny. And as you can see, a lot of work goes into this house, but that's a good thing. Speaking of which, we got to check on the fish. We did feed them this morning, huh? But we want to go check up on them. I think the algae eater doesn't seem to be uh, doing its job. So I have to locate the algae eater. And if it's doing its job, terrific. I'm thinking of getting an additional. I would love to get a snail. I love those algae snails. Preferably not pregnant because they were proliferant. Last time we ended up with hundreds of snails, and that's not what we needed. Huh, Tiki Tiki, I love snails. Yes, I do. The boys used to tease me by throwing snails after the rains. You know how they come out on the sidewalks. And they would throw them in the street in front of cars. And that's how the little boys on my street found out that a girl smaller than them could beat them up. Sorry, guys, but yeah, I had weird ways God taught me to subdue them and render them helpless and make them wonder why they even began. And I was like, at least I didn't do you as you did the snail, huh? I'm not kidding you. One kid was trying to take my brother off schedule, or he was trying to get him in trouble. He's like, you can't come to this bus stop. And I was sick that day. And so I ended up wanting to go to school. I loved school. So I wanted to go to school. For some reason, I was remembering one of my friends wanted something or something. Are you talking to me? Yeah. So what ended up happening is I double backed and went to school anyway. My parents, my kids were the same way. And so what ended up happening is I got there just in time to hear this kid threatening my brother. I said, you can't come to this bus stop. He said, well, my mom says I have to. So I went up to the boy and he's all smiling. And I took his hand, looking him right in the eyes, and he just was transfixed. And I took his hand crossways, which was a play thing we did as kids, where we would spin around with each other by holding hands in the middle. So he thought I was gonna spin with him, and I started spinning. And my brother said I had a big, mischievous smile on my face. Scotty knew what was going to happen. And I let him go. We got the centrifugal force going to where the inertia and the mass were enough that I let him go. So they spring loose, okay? They can't really even help it because they just suddenly released and basically catapulted right into a tree. And as he sat there feeling around for broken bones, my brother and I got on the bus. Divine timing. God had the bus come up right then. I promise you, I was not that brilliant. But it just so happened that when I walked up and this was all happening, the bus was just passing the entrance to the JPL down ramp. And so, wham! And he really, I got to give the kid credit. He didn't cry. You could see he was really hurt, but he did not want to cry, especially from a girl in front of a group of kids. And we all got on the bus, and he said he was going to get me and this and that. And that's when the next time I actually had a mentally gifted minor meeting. And so I wasn't there, and they put Scotty in a dumpster and they beat him up pretty badly to the point where he had internal bleeding. That's when I told you guys that. Sorry, but that's when I threw the two down the um, bowl, in the ivy, and they popped their heads on sprinklers. So there's a lot of blood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was funny because when I went in, Mrs. Filipowitz, who is also Jewish, she knows our family very well, and when I came in, she saw I looked kind of huffy because I was like one of the smallest kids in school. And so, and she's like, what did you do this time? I mean, actually, she didn't say that. She did say something to I think it was her exact words were, uh-oh, what is it this time? And I went, ah, it's big trouble this time. It's big. I was always trying to get myself in trouble. I was always telling people, I'm in so much trouble. You have to punish me. I'm in trouble. Later, that was not the case, but I'll tell you more about that. Do you want to talk too? This one's like, well, if you're going to be loquacious, so am I. So, yeah, I told her what happened, and she called the parents, and we explained exactly what and why. And the parents actually spanked their kids right in front of us. The wounds were superficial. Head wounds always bleed a lot, even if they're little. And well, it probably wasn't as little as I'm making it sound, but because to be honest with you, it was pretty serious. And I repent fully. And I'm so grateful those boys did not suffer worse. And so, because it could have been exponentially worse. And so, and I wanted it to be exponentially worse, not to be mean, but I mean, in my eyes, they had darn near killed my brother, and I was not about to have it. And I saw Planet of the Apes for the first time that night, the OG with Charlton Heston and all that. And I went to school ready to defend my people. I was like, oh no, took on two boys, and I'll tell you. And I was like, three-quarter their size, and so, but I was determined. That's why I was always chosen very quickly in sports team. Well done. She goes in the sink. Did you just see? And she goes in the plants, but she does not go anywhere else. I don't know how this one knows. She is just smart. She's like, that's because free rent appeals. And she's been in climate control. She's been having nothing but a good time, in my opinion. She's kind of fussy around. Isn't that funny? There's a little gnat. Is that gnat pestering you? Where'd he go? Okay, well. Oh, there it is. You will not bother my bird. Do you think I'm attacking you? No, 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 no. I was getting rid of the gnat. And if necessary, we'll take lethal means. Isn't that funny? Outside, it's like, hello, little buggy, I love you. But when they're in the house, I'm kind of like, die, bug, die. I'm sorry, but I can't be having all that. Meanwhile, what can I tell you? So, yeah, their parents spanked him in front of me. With their assurance that there would be no reprisals. They're like, you leave her alone, you leave her brother alone, you leave their memory alone. And Mrs. Flipwitz, she is so sweet. Dad insisted on a reprimand. He's like, well, you do know that means no television for tonight. And I was like, oh, it's in my world. That was hard. That was like taking a smartphone from a kid today. And I was like, no, 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 no. And Dad's all, baby, you can't attack people. You can't do that. And he's like, I have to admit, Dad used to have long talks with me. He said, I have to admit, I'm pretty proud of you. He goes, you can hold your own. Later, when Scotty and I would have fights, Scott would just jump me out of nowhere. And and we'd be waiting for Dad, like outside of the Board of Education or one of their SAC meetings or something. And they would not stop the fight. They'd be on the way back to the car and see us tussling, and literally they'd duck off behind a tree or a bush or a car and take bets. Can you believe it? Neither one of us got really seriously hurt, but they knew the fight was over when one of us was sitting on top of the other, and Scotty never sat on top of me. And that's the thing that they thought was so great, because they like, dang, she's a girl and she's unwhoopable. And Dad knew about the other kids in the neighborhood, even though he pretended not to, because he'd refer to it every once in a while. I'd look at him like, am I in trouble? Because I know fighting's not okay. I always knew fighting wasn't okay. But people don't understand the mind of a child. You've got pride and ego, and you can't tell your parents, this is embarrassing. You got to handle this on your own. It's those whiny little victims that go, help me. Somebody was mean to me. Oh, my ex-husband. I cannot even tell you. He sat there and bragged to me as an adult, which is part of why he's my ex-husband, that he would play marbles in the school with other kids. And if they got his marble or his favorite Aggie or whatever, he would punch him in the nose and then go run and grab his brothers. Because he had like 4 or 5 brothers. That's messed up, man. No, he had 3 brothers. That's what it was. There was 4 of them all together. And it was like, that's messed up. But that's the kind of person, it's really sad. Sad as Kennedy's funeral. Meanwhile, I have to tell you, yeah, it's always been that way. Now, the way that I handle my battles now are legally. I use my reason, my mind, my logic. I will litigate against your behind in a minute, but my primary source, to be honest with you, is just prayer, simple prayer. I don't go, Lord, get them. I just say, help me deal with it, soften their hearts. It's usually soften their hearts, fortify their lives so that they can go on to have a healthy existence and they don't have to be messing with me. But it's funny because my father is a vengeful God. People forget that. And when you mess with his kids, you've seen some people on this earth, don't mess with their kids. And I'll tell you, daddy's twisted over his children. You guys have to remember that he created hell. And he made hell for a purpose, okay? Hell and the demonics, they have a purpose. That's why you have to be hot or cold. Our Father said that, I would ye that you were hot or cold, because that way you're useful. Because frankly, if you're lukewarm, he'll just spew thee out of his mouth, okay? And that's what he said verbatim. Meanwhile, well, it wasn't Aramaic and all that. But the thing is that I'm telling you now, you bring me some lukewarm coffee and you're not going to have a receptive audience. So I want you guys to know that Penny's doing great. We're doing great. The Lord has been nothing but kind. Please help us to defend our country against these lunatics. The Democrats, the liberals, they have lost their freaking mind. And you cannot label every Democrat as child sacrificing, lying, double dealing, whoremongering pedophiles. But you can label them ignoramuses that should be ashamed of themselves for not doing their civic duty and properly researching, and or they are with the wicked. Either way, shame, 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 shame. Help me protect this country, guys. We love you, and I want you guys to immediately begin informing yourself. Infowars.com. Remember, God loves you, and so do I.